Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're zeroing in on something really fundamental, something we all do every day, our routines.
Right. Daily routines.
Exactly. And we've got an interesting source for this. It's actually a podcast script originally aimed at English language learners, helping them talk about their day.
Okay. So a practical starting point.
Yeah, and our mission here is to kind of go beyond just the basics. We want to pull out some genuinely useful ways for anyone to articulate their own daily rhythm.
Which is super useful, whether you're traveling, working internationally, or honestly, just wanting to connect better with people.
Totally. Being able to talk about your day, it builds confidence, doesn't it?
It really does. It sounds simple, but getting it right, adding a bit of detail, that shows a deeper grasp of the language.
So our source gives this, let's say, classic example, waking up at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Then, brushing teeth, taking a shower, the usual morning stuff.
Getting ready.
Right. Then maybe toast and tea for breakfast, leaving for work around 9 a.m.
Yep. Per standard.
Coming back home maybe by 6 p.m., relaxing a bit, TV, reading, whatever. And then heading to bed, say, around 11 p.m.
It's a solid framework, a good baseline.
But even within that apparent simplicity, there are interesting nuances.
Oh, yeah. And the source actually highlights one right at the start. It's the difference between wake up and get up.
Okay. Yes. Good one.
It even gives a little example. I wake up at 6, but I get up at 6:30.
Okay, yeah, let's dig into that a bit. So wake up is really just becoming conscious, right? Your eyes might open.
Exactly. You're no longer asleep, but you could still be lying there.
Just sort of lingering. It's passive.
Right. But get up. That's the action. That's physically leaving the bed, starting the day.
It's a deliberate move. That's actually a really useful distinction. Subtle, but important for clarity.
Absolutely. And noticing those little things, that's what helps you express yourself more precisely.
So then moving on, the source gives us those typical morning verbs.
Yeah, a whole cluster of them. Brush my teeth, take a shower, get dressed.
Standard sequence for many people.
And then there's that slightly broader one.
Yeah.
Get ready. The example was something like, I take a quick shower and get ready for school.
Right. So get ready is almost like a summary phrase.
Kind of, yeah. It bundles up those preparation steps.
So it could mean different things depending on the context. Getting ready for school might be quicker than, say, getting ready for a job interview or something.
Precisely. It's adaptable, very efficient language.
Good point. And then meals, the source keeps that pretty straightforward.
Super simple. Have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner.
Can't get much clearer.
And the example given is, I have lunch at 1 p.m. Direct.
Definitely essential vocabulary for just, describing the day's structure.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get into the bigger blocks of time, work or school, and leisure time. Phrases like, go to work.
Come back home.
And relax.
Yeah, and they even give that little personal touch. After work, I like to relax with music.
Which is a nice reminder, isn't it? That even when you're talking about routine, you can inject personality.
Makes it much more engaging than just listing facts. So using these phrases, you can start piecing together like a timeline of your day.
And the source actually helps with that too. It lays out a set of questions, almost like prompts, to guide you in structuring your own routine description.
Oh, that's helpful. What's the first one?
It starts logically. When do you wake up?
Makes sense. Sets the scene.
Then it follows with, what do you do in the morning?
Okay, so that covers the post-getting up, pre-leaving the house activities.
Exactly. Brushing teeth, breakfast, all that. Then it asks about the commute. How do you go to work or school?
Right. Walk, bus, drive, cycle.
Whatever it is. Then it moves to the main part of the day. What do you do in the afternoon?
So that's your work, your studies, maybe errands.
Your main daytime commitments, yeah. And finally, it wraps up with, what does your evening look like?
Bringing it home.
Yeah.
How you unwind. Hobbies, dinner, getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
What's really good about that structure is it breaks it down. Describing a whole day can feel a bit daunting, but question by question.
It makes it manageable, gives you building blocks.
Exactly. A framework to hang the vocabulary on.
And the source actually suggests, taking it a step further, it recommends saying your routine out loud.
Oh, good advice.
Or even writing it down, which is, a really powerful way to practice.
It forces you to actively use the language, not just passively understand it. It really helps it stick.
And it makes you think, doesn't it, about the actual sequence and maybe where you're missing a word for something you do.
Yeah, it's like a mini self-assessment. How do I say that I feed the cat before I have coffee or whatever.
Right, identifies the gaps.
Mhm.
And there's a little interesting bit in the source. It mentions potentially featuring listener routines in a future episode.
Oh, okay.
So, for our deep dive here, let's take that as encouragement. If you try this exercise, maybe writing down or thinking through your routine and want to share, let us know. It could definitely shape a future discussion.
That active participation, it always makes learning more effective.
So, wrapping up the main points, the big takeaway is really that describing your daily routine, it seems basic, but it's truly a cornerstone skill for building fluency and confidence in English.
Absolutely. It gives you immediately useful language for real-world interactions. You're likely to need it.
For sure.
And actually thinking about it on another level, articulating your routine, it can also give you some insights into your own life, can it?
How do you mean?
Well, just the act of describing it makes you reflect on your habits, how you spend your time, your priorities,
Yeah.
the actual rhythm of your day-to-day.
That's a really interesting angle. It's almost like a self-reflection tool disguised as language practice.
Sort of, yeah. You hold a mirror up to your schedule.
I like that. Okay, so maybe a final thought for listeners to chew on, building on that.
Go for it.
How does your routine shift on, say, weekends or holidays? What changes thinking about those differences?
Ah, yeah. That's another layer. Comparing the weekday grind with the weekend freedom, perhaps?
Exactly. It's another great way to expand that vocabulary and just get more comfortable describing different patterns in your life.
Good point. Lots to think about from a seemingly simple topic.
Definitely is. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into daily routines.